Hey folks, Chef Jesse here. How are you? Today, I hope everybody's good. It's nasty outside. It's rainy, snow, everything. It's just a mess. Anyway, on Valentine's Day, I made a great dinner. It was steak and it was shrimp, and there was baked potato, and there was vegetables, asparagus. I mean, there was a bunch of stuff. There was just a great dinner, and I made some chocolate covered strawberries, homemade, and I made a flan. Well, unfortunately, Gilbert got sick the day before. He had to leave early that day, and it was a scary moment. We thought that he had COVID. You know, he had all the symptoms. He had a fever and everything. Anyway, he went straight. He left the job early. He went straight to work. I mean, straight to the clinic, and they tested him with the rapid test and the long test that takes 3 to 4 days, whatever it is. So anyway, he came home. We isolated ourselves. You know, he stood in the room. I stood in the living room. I chased him around with a can of Lysol, cleaning everything down. You know, I'm sick, so I have to be careful. So anyway, folks, with all jokes aside, and I slept in the sofa for 2 nights. Oh God. Anyway, folks, thank God that it was a stomach virus. Anyway, excuse me. The moral of the story is that he really didn't enjoy the dinner. We really didn't enjoy the dinner because we had to sit apart and and of course the dessert was, I ate all the strawberries. I think he got 1 or 2. So anyway, today we're gonna have a nice dinner, and I wanted to make some strawberries, and I wanted to make them a little bit different from Valentine's Day, that Sunday. So I'm going to show you, if you've never made strawberries, chocolate covered strawberries, I'm going to show you how to make them today. So stay tuned. Okay folks, so the first thing you have to do is you have to melt the chocolate to make the chocolate strawberries, right? Oh, hello. So I'm using a pot like this, okay? And I'm using a dish like this. You use the dish, put it on top, and then, okay? So let me show you how this is done. And okay, stay tuned. Okay, so I put water into this pot, just enough so that it won't touch. Let me see. You gotta make sure it doesn't touch the dish. Okay, if the dish is wet, then it's no good. Okay, so just pour a little bit there. You just want the steam. Okay, there you go. And then, okay, there you go. See, before it was like floating. It's a little bit, but that's good enough. Okay, so now you're gonna put I'm using these milk chocolate morsels from Nestle. There's all different kinds of chocolate, but I like these. And I'm going to be using about half of the box. I mean, half of the bag. Yeah, I'm going to use about half. That's about half a bag. It might be, might be a little bit more or less, but that's what I'm going to be using. Okay, so I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to start my stove. And hopefully this thing turns on. What is wrong with this? I cleaned these things last night, and what a pain in the butt. What a pain in the butt. Okay, folks. So I'm gonna put this at medium, and I'm gonna put the pot on top with my chocolate morsels, right? And they're gonna start melting, and you gotta keep an eye on them. What I do is I put some vegetable oil, and what the vegetable oil does, it just makes it a little bit more, more suitable, and a little bit of shine on the, believe it or not, when you finish the strawberries, they have a little bit of shine to it. And I'm using 2 tablespoons, just a little bit there, okay? Now, what I did was I washed my strawberries, okay? And I use a paper towel to dry them. You got to dry them very good. They can't be damp, because if not, the chocolate won't adhere to them. So you might want to wash these and shake them around, dry them individually, just make sure that they're not moist, because if not, you won't get a good adhesion, whatever the hell you call it, to the strawberries. Okay, so my chocolate is starting to get soft, as you can see, And what I do is I take toothpicks and I just stab the strawberries on top. Okay, like so. I'm going to take the strawberries out. I mean, the toothpicks. I'm going to take the toothpicks out after this strawberry looks like it's beat up, but it's like real ripe. So, anyway, I get a couple of toothpicks if you know, and just stab it in the back. So you make it like a lollipop. This is so when you dip it, it becomes easy. You can dip it without the stick, but I just find it easy just dipping it, make it look like a little lollipop like that, and then dip it. Now keep an eye on this, because as soon as that water start to get warm, your chocolate is going to start melting, and you got to be fast with this. What I'm using is an aluminum pan with some parchment paper. As soon as I dip these strawberries in the chocolate, I'm just going to lay them out in top of the parchment paper, and I'm going to put in the fridge. And in the fridge, 2-3 hours, whatever it takes. At that time, you could actually, when you dip the strawberries, you can actually put nuts on it. You can put sprinkles in it. You can do anything you want with it, decorate it with pistachios, whatever you want. At that time, when the chocolate is soft. If you want to, like I'm going to do today, I want to use a double dip, which I want to sprinkle with some white chocolate. I'm going to wait for the strawberries for the chocolate to get a little bit hard in the fridge, and then I'm going to stir in my chocolate morsels just like these. I have white chocolate, and then I'm going to drizzle it. So stay with me for a minute here. Okay, my kitchen is so small, and the chocolate's still okay. Now this is very hot, so be very careful. You know, this gets very hot, and just wait for the chocolate to melt. I mean, you know, and okay. And like I said, the 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil just makes it, when you put the strawberry, it gives it a little bit of shine when the strawberries harden up, when the chocolate hardens up in the fridge. Okay, so you put these in the fridge, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours maybe, whatever it takes for them to be nice and hard on the outside. Okay, so there you go. So my chocolate is starting to melt, and you see, and it's starting to look nice. Just gotta keep an eye on them. You just can't walk away from this. So make sure you go to the bathroom and do whatever you gotta do before, because you're gonna have to stay on top of the stove here, paying attention to what you're doing. Okay? I'm gonna use 2 spoons just to, okay? I don't want this to, okay, see how it's melting? It's making, so very simple. Just buy in the baking section, you buy the chocolate morsels. They have dark chocolate, they have milk chocolate. I just happen to like milk chocolate, and that's why I'm using milk chocolate. You can use the white chocolate, which I'm going to be using later on, using the same method. I'm going to be using the Nestle's Toll House white Premier morsels, and these are white chocolate. So after I dip my strawberries in it, and I put it in the fridge for a little while, when it gets a little bit hard, I'm going to melt these down just like this, and then I'm going to drizzle it just to give it a nice, nice look, and to make it look fancy. So, because I ate all the strawberries I made on Valentine's, and Gilbert was sick, and he really didn't get to enjoy them. So I want to make these for him because he's such a great guy, and Okay, so my chocolate is melting nice, and but make sure that it's all melted evenly. Okay. It's important to melt it evenly, because you don't want to dip in there and get these pieces of chocolate stuck on the. No, you want to make sure that it's evenly. Okay. Now there must be another way to do this, and if you know how to do it, then do it. But this is my way. I'm not much of a baker. I really don't. My godson's wife, she's a master at baking. I mean, I see these cakes that she makes. She's a master baker. Did I say master? Yeah, master baker. I didn't say nothing else. Okay, just make sure that these morsels are completely melted, because you don't want to dip anything in there and get these chunks, take away these chunks. Okay, so it's almost done. And some people say to take this off the flame because it'll burn. I don't know. I leave it on the flame. I just turned it off. and you know. So it's just looks like it's just about done. I'm squeezing the other morsel, make sure that everything's melted, and you know, look at that. Okay. There you go. Now you got to turn the flame off because you don't want this to burn. Okay. So there it goes. You get that. Look at that. See how this looks? There's nothing in there. Okay. Now, put the flame off. And there should be enough heat in there for this thing to stay like this for a while. Okay. Now, I'm gonna take my strawberries that I put a toothpick on, and I'm just gonna dip it. Now, sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't, but this is what I'm gonna do. Okay. And I'm going to dip it, and then I'm gonna put it down in my. Okay. So I'm gonna dip it like so. Look, spin it. Dip it, spin it, dip it and spin it. Okay. This is so everything is covered. Again, very simple. Did it a good spin. Okay, so make sure it's even. And if it's not even, doesn't have to be perfect, but there you go. Okay. And you put it down on your parchment paper. Then you put these in the fridge, and you know it'll get hard in a couple of hours. And there you go. Look at that. Look at that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure that's covered evenly. There you go. Spin it, spin it, spin it, spin it, and there you go. Okay. So do you get the hint of this? Okay. Look at that. Very easy. Look at that. You spin it. Sometimes the toothpick will slip. Don't worry about it. Just try to get as good. Look at that. Look at that nice dip. Okay. You can also do it like this, but I like to do it with the toothpick. I take the top of the strawberry like this, and I dip it. Okay, and I dip it. But this is a little bit more messier. And I dip it. You know, this is a little bit messier. If you don't want to get it messy, you know, so you see the difference. Now you're getting it all messy. And you go. There you go. And it's nice to get some nice big strawberries. I like to get the big ones because they do, you know, it do a bit easier. There you go. Now be careful with this because this is hot. The chocolate is hot. Now it looks like the chocolate's starting to get cold and, you know, starting to harden up a bit. So I might, if that happens, you could put the heat back up. Okay, you could put the heater back up like I did, but you should be able to dip your strawberries in there, and okay. Now again, these things are not going to be perfect because, you know, I'm not Hershey's chocolate company here, but I'm going to make the best of what I can do, and that's all you can do. If you cook with love and you make something that you enjoy, it will come out good. I always say you gotta cook with love. You gotta cook with love. This you really put your heart into it. When I cook, I put my heart into meals. I really do. I just don't cook for cooking. I make it. I like to put my heart into it, and I like it to taste good and look good, and I like people to like it. I get pissed off if something doesn't come out right. I've been known to like throw the dish into the garbage can, really, and it really pisses me off. You know, if it doesn't come out right. And okay, so this is starting to get a little bit hot, but I'm almost done. I've got all my strawberries done. So yeah. So if this can keep warm for another second, I'm almost done with this strawberry. Oh, watch your fingers because this gets hot. Okay, the chocolate gets hot, and you're in trouble. Okay, there you go. Okay. Help me here. I got one more strawberry to go, and then we're done. Okay. There we go. There we go. It's gonna be nice. Don't worry about it. Okay. So spin it around. Now what's happening is actually it's starting to burn. And the water's starting to boil over. Oh, here you go. So you got to be careful. Okay, I just turned the flame off. And there you go. There goes my strawberries. Okay. So keep that like that. Use a pot holder. Get this out of here. Ooh. Let that cool down a bit. Don't put it into the cold water. You'll break the dish will crack. Anyway, there goes my strawberries, folks. There goes the strawberries, and they look pretty nice, right? And I'm gonna put them into the fridge. I'm gonna put them into the fridge, and I'm gonna let them get hard. And then I'm gonna do the same thing using the white chocolate. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drizzle it with white chocolate, and to make it look fancy. So that was easy, wasn't it? So stay tuned. So folks, that's how you make chocolate covered strawberries. And then, like I said, you can add nuts to it, you can add sprinkles to it, you can add whatever kind of decoration you want. I'm going to drizzle it later on with white chocolate. I'm going to drizzle it, make a nice decoration, and later on when we're ready to eat these for dessert, I'm going to show you how they look. I'll show you pictures and I'll do a video, so stay tuned for that. I hope you've enjoyed this little video here of how to make chocolate covered strawberries. Okay, talk to you guys later.